be a Revealed Films first. We were on location filming, and this person wasn't supposed to be one of our subjects, but as DJ Barton started to explain to me his career, his views, how he sees the world, and what type of activities he's involved in, I said, we have to get this guy on the set, and I have to interview him because it was fresh, it was interesting, it was inspiring, and something I think that would be very valuable for you. Enjoy my interview here with DJ Barton. So DJ, thanks for having this conversation. I met you for other purposes, but we had a set here, and I started finding out about your history and background. I said, wow, I got to talk to you about Money Revealed. So let's start here. You have a long history, a career in the network marketing world. So can you tell us about your history?
Yeah, so when I was 18, naturally you got to make a decision. What do you want to do when you grow up? And I wasn't really good at school, barely graduated high school. And, I started looking at colleges and I did not get excited at all. Right. And then I started realizing jobs at minimum wage weren't going to fulfill what I really wanted to do in life. And so I actually grew up in the Midwest, moved down to Arizona and met some business entrepreneurs and got invited down to a meeting just like a lot of people do. And I knew nothing about the industry, never even heard of the industry, and went down to a presentation and I fell in love, not so much necessarily with the product because it was nutrition, supplements, water filtration 22 years ago. And when you're 18, that's not what's on the top of your mind.
Right.
But what I did fall in love with was the system around it, the people, the personal development, the mindset, the entrepreneurialism that came along with the whole industry or the profession. And that's what I fell in love with. I met a guy that was a top 5 money earner in a company. I grew up with a single parent home. My father passed away in a plane crash before my 8th birthday. Wow. So I never had that role model to follow or someone to lead me the way I wanted to lead. And I met a guy that just not only in the business aspect, but he also led me on a personal aspect. And in life, it's not what you know, but who you know, right? Being at the right place at the right time. And I definitely was there. And I took full advantage of it. And I started becoming coachable, started reading self-help books, self-development, personal development, fell in love with the mindset around it and the equal opportunity that it can bring for people that truly want to go, live their dream life, get paid what they're worth, and have some fun with it.
So this is interesting. And incidentally, I'm sometimes at a loss of which term to use. I know it used to be called multi-level marketing, and then it kind of went to network marketing. Now I think the term direct marketing. So what term do you use?
I use network marketing. I mean, everything's network marketing in this day and age in the 21st century. I mean, this industry has evolved over the last 50 years, right? But I mean, there are a lot of different names out there. I would probably say network marketing is the one that I use. A lot of times, some people, when they're new in the industry, they don't really know what to say. There was a stigma around the industry because, you don't know what you don't know. You only know what, you hear and what you absorb that you want to, create a true or false perception, right? And so I'm very passionate about network marketing. I mean, we've been very, very blessed in the industry, been able to make it to the top 1% of the industry as a whole.
You have personally?
Yeah.
Wow. And so here we are, a guy barely graduated high school, finds a calling, I guess, in just this sort of it almost seems like maybe not environmental but cultural, like the culture of what network marketing is the thing that kind of attracted you, not a particular product necessarily.
Yep.
And what is unique about network marketing that spoke to you? And I guess now it's been your whole life and career, right? You've stayed in it this whole time.
Yep.
So what is unique about it?
Well, there's so many different things I could talk about uniqueness-wise, but, it's almost what I fell in love with 22 years ago. The example I would use, it's very similar when I have a lot of friends that are professional athletes and retired. There's a locker room culture, right, that a lot of people don't know about. Right. And, there's a lot of people that go to their traditional 9 to 5 and they have no they don't get recognized for anything they do. They go to work, trade time for money and go home. Right. And, we're in the people business. If people really understood the value of our industry as a profession, everybody would more than likely join, right? The culture, number one, the brotherhood that's a part of it, the people helping people. When I met my first mentor, he said, for every dollar I help you make, I make a dime.
Right.
And so what really hit home for me is that he's going to help me make as many dollars as I possibly can, right? Because he's got to make a lot of dimes to make it up.
The incentives are lined up, and that's a virtue of capitalism in general.
Yeah, I mean, in traditional businesses, you get a salary or an hourly wage, and if you go to work, you get paid. If you don't, you typically don't, right? And your boss is probably making more than they're paying you.
Yeah.
And so there's a false perception on both of it, because yes, we do make money off the efforts of other people,
right?
But I don't have a lot of book sense, in the sense of, I always joke around, like, I have no idea how they come up with the answers or the questions for Jeopardy, right? But I understand common sense. And when you look at just like step out of your own self and look at successful people around the world,
right?
They all own businesses. They all have leverage, meaning they have people working for them, right? Mm-hmm. They're making money whether they're working or sleeping. My mentor said, you got to figure out how to make money while you sleep, or you're going to work until the day that you die. So when you take out all the common sense of that,
right,
and then you line it up with a traditional job, which I'm not against jobs. I think some people need jobs psychologically so they don't stress, right? Because stress can either break you or help you break records, right?
Right.
And so there are some people that need a job to pay their bills while they're building a network marketing business. Like, I recommend everybody do it part-time until they really learn the profession, because it is a profession. And if you've never done it before, you don't know what to do. And there's going to be different learning curves, right? And so the biggest thing, man, I'll tell you, it's a lot of fun, because, you can help anybody that truly wants a better quality life, whether they're just paying off bills, want to put money aside for their college funds for kids. They want to help retire their parents. Maybe they want to upgrade their vehicle, their lifestyle, change their zip code. In this day and age, private schools are the way to go for children.
So this could be sort of a, I hear the term very often now, side hustle.
Yeah.
So if somebody is a student, like right now, I've got a son that's a junior in college, economic and finance major.
Wow.
And I'm sitting there saying, as I've been going through this exploration in Money Revealed, I'm saying, we're learning things here they're never going to teach you in school.
Yeah.
But it would be great for you to get involved in a network marketing organization part-time, so that you can graduate school with cash flow.
Yeah, it's huge.
And it's what you're saying, you don't have to show up to work every day for this cash flow to keep going.
Right.
Because once you build, it's like building your own little business, right?
Yep, absolutely.
So it's sort of being in business with yourself, maybe even sort of like a franchise, but you don't have all those upfront fees.
Yeah.
You just get in. This is what I was observing. And I'm thinking to myself, it'd be really good for him to get something like this, get the flywheel turning on something like this, so that he leaves and he's got income before he has to show up at any job.
Yeah.
Am I seeing this correctly?
100%.
So how difficult, or what's the hurdles to entry to be able to say that, okay, you got somebody, you were 18 years old, right? And you said, hey, academics aren't my thing. Yet I don't want to just go and trade my time for money, and it's not going to be for a lot of money at 18 years old with no education, right? Or no college education. So what does it take then? What are the characteristics that you think it takes for somebody young, or even saying maybe somebody's more middle-aged, and they woke up one morning and said, how the hell did I end up here? This isn't what my life is supposed to be. I need to find a new and a better path where I have more control over my destiny. What does it take to get something like this moving?
Sure. So there's a handful of characteristics. There are some false ideas or mindsets that people have coming in, where you already have to have a big network. You have to already be successful. You have to get in early. Like those are false, accusations, right? As far as network marketing, when I am out there looking for the person that I want to work with directly and help build them a better lifestyle, I look for heart, I look for coachability, I look for desire, and I look for work ethic. One thing I've learned in our industry is that, and when you look at all the wealth in America, 90% of success is mindset.
Right.
It's a decision. And 10% is skill set. I can meet people that have 90% skill set, 10% mindset, and they have more degrees than a thermometer. They're brilliant minds, but they're never going to make it to the highest levels because they don't have the mindset, that stick-to-itiveness to really, do this thing. When I came in, I had no business being in business. I was 18. Right. And the nice thing about network marketing nowadays, 22 years later, you can get into a company for well under $500, right? Which is a low barrier of entry.
Right.
The key thing you got to do, though, is treat it like a $500,000 investment. And that's the key thing, because a lot of times when they get into network marketing, they're like, oh, I'm going to treat this like a hobby. I'm just going to try it. I'm going to talk to a few people, see how it works. Well, you're not going to have a lot of success.
So commitment's important, that you feel that you're emotionally committed to the process.
Yeah.
And so what you mean by that is that if you put $500,000 in, you're motivated to make it work.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what the average nowadays is. I've heard a lot of different numbers, but if you look at a business, maybe average cost $65,000, give or take, give in that range to start a business.
Right.
That's going to get you out of bed in the morning, right? That's going to keep you staying up late at night.
Right.
And if you take that mindset into this industry and truly treat it like a professional business, you can get professional results.
So have you, at this point, since somebody mentored you, obviously, and got you involved, are you mentoring other people now as kind of like paying it forward?
Yeah, we are. That's what it is. It's all about people helping people. There's no way I would even be where I'm at today. I spend money on going to the trainings. There's a lot of network marketing companies that are great in the industry. They got great products, great leadership. The number one thing you have to do in this industry to really hit the highest levels, not, to make real money doing this, to call it a profession, is you got to get to the company events. That is the ace. That is the key component, if you will, the magic pixie dust.
Right.
Because, people get in, they go to a one-on-one or a two-on-one or a home meeting, right? Or they sign up online, they see a video, and that's all they know about the company.
Yeah.
They don't know who the executives are, the owners, their mindset, their culture, their mission statement, the big picture. And a lot of times people get into a company, but until the company actually gets into them, that's where the difference maker is. See, the neat thing I loved about network marketing is I didn't have to be the guy to have the most success. What I did is I got the most people to our international conventions and got out of their way, right? No one can take your footstep unless you move your foot, right?
Right.
And so I got out of the way and I got people to our big conventions, and then they got sparked. They got the belief, one, that they can do it. The music got inside of them. Even though they were saying the same things, the music wasn't inside of them, right? Now the music's inside of them, and now they can go build this because they've seen the big picture. They've seen behind the curtain of what a company looks like. And when they get to those events, that's where the magic happens. And it's not the rah-rah. It's the personal development. It's the camaraderie. It's the belief. It's seeing the big picture is what gets people to have a lot of success in this thing.
So if someone now is saying, you know what, I want to go investigate this, I want to go vet some companies, because I'm sure there's some great companies out there, in the network marketing world, probably some not so great companies. Right. So what is it that, let's say, like I'm a complete neophyte, okay, so I don't know how to navigate these waters so well.
Sure.
What should I be looking for in a company before I'd want to sign on with it?
Leadership.
That's the critical. Who's the leadership?
Leadership. Yeah, because leadership starts from the top down, right? If you don't have the right leadership, you're just, you're not gonna have a lot of success.
And what would I look for in that leadership? How long have they been there? How can I vet leadership?
A lot of times people think leadership or success is money, which of course that's more of a symptom or a result of, what you've done, but it's their character. It's the timing of the company. What kind of product are they marketing? Is it a neutral product where it's been around forever? Right. There's a lot of, different shiny objects is what the term I use in our industry that come and go. And a lot of people see that shiny object and they're like a squirrel and they'll jump from branch to branch. Right. What you want to do is find a product or a service or that everybody uses, needs, can't live without. It's not just an impulse, right? And it's going to be around for the test of time because you only want to build this one time. Right. And who character of the person that enrolled you. What's their success like? How long have they been doing this? How many people are in their organization that are having success? You can determine a leader by how many followers they have. One thing I've always done in my business is I've always made sure I've personally enrolled more than anybody in my team has enrolled. And I'm 2 to 3 to 1 ratio of that because I always want to lead from the front. Right. I would never have anybody do something that I've never done on my own.
So you're still outworking the people that are down below you just to keep them motivated, huh?
It's so funny because in our industry, as you start gaining a lot of success, you start to let off the gas a little bit. And I've been one of those blue-collar kids from the Midwest where I've always enjoyed being in the trenches of building. Right. I don't even enjoy the, quote-unquote management side of it. I enjoy the daily, kill of the deal, if you will.
Yeah.
And helping people get their first score in our business, their first result, and doing the things that most people don't love to do. That's why we have the success. Though. We fell in love with the process.
Kind of like a shared victory when that happens, right?
It's fun.
It is fun.
Yeah.
And what about compensation plans? Is there anything to look out for that might be pitfalls in a compensation plan?
You know, a lot of people always ask, well, I need to see the compensation plan before I get started. Right. And, you know, there's a lot of good comp plans. There's a lot of iffy comp plans. Mm-hmm. You know, what you have to do is find balance. Mm-hmm. You know, one thing, you know, there's companies out there that heavily compensate the people at the top. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of companies that are complete flip-flop. You want to have a hybrid of both. Because here's what I've realized in this industry is that there's more people at the bottom than there are at the top, right? And so you want to pay the people at the when they first get started because they need that belief check, right? They got to believe that they can do it. And when they get a check, that's kind of like they're okay, I can do this.
So when you say belief check, you're speaking literally.
Yeah, like their first check,
like an actual check,
a real check. Yeah,
that's
you know when you get a check in the mail, I don't care if it's $20. You're like, okay, I got this. It doesn't matter how many zeros are on that sucker.
Right.
But you know, the biggest thing is balance, number one. But you know, there's the key. Most people join network marketing not to make a transactional commission,
right?
Because you could go do that in pharmaceutical sales, car sales, real estate, many different industries, right? People join network marketing because they want to create a residual passive income stream. And, you know, I've been a part of companies that the people at the top have the majority of the residual income when less than 1% of the people might make it to the top. So those are the people that get the residual. Then the company I'm a part of now, it's very heavy residual at the beginning. But then as you compound your business, you also have a lot at the top. That's the key, because even if your residual income was, I don't know, $150 a month. It's not a lot of money, but you're getting a check on a certain day every single month that is a good check, right? It could pay your cell phone bill. It could take your spouse out to dinner. It could do little things, but that's what gets people excited is that residual check. And that to me is the key component in our compensation plan is how quick can you get somebody to residual income.
So if you were to decide, you know what, I'm going to take off for a month and go to Europe. Right. You could go do that and your income would just keep coming whether you're here or not here. I guess, is that the residual side that kind of makes this very attractive?
Yeah. You know, what's interesting, that's what I fell in love with. And I can do, you know, take a month off and go to Europe, and my lifestyle's covered today. And, you know, I have a chart in a lot of my presentations. And here's what's it, you know, when you make this thing more of like, put in front of their face to where they go, like, let's put this in true perspective. You know, for example, if you have, let's say you make 5% off of your investments, which at a bank, you never make 5%. It's what, 1.5 or 2, right? But let's just say for this conversation, you can make 5%. If you wanted to have $500 coming in, you would have to have approximately $120,000 in the bank, earning 5% to make $500. Think about that. Now, and we're told by the experts to save, pay yourself first, take 10% of what you make and reinvest it. Well, you'd have to make 1.2 million to save 120 to get 500. Right? Even at $2,000 a month, you'd need about $420,000 to make $2,000 a month in residual income. And that's, you know, 10% is 4.2 million. Right. You know, $5,000 a month, you'd have to have, you know, $1.2 million in the bank at 5% to make, you know, $5,000 a month. So when you take that into perspective, and I sit down with a conversation that has a 9 to 5 that makes you at $40,000, $50,000 a year, and they're living check to check because of taxes and debts, and people overlive their lifestyle. I can show them how to get started in a business and build 3 to 5 hours a week, and maybe it takes 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, or 5 years, whatever it is, and I can get them to a number that their goal is. It's a lot simpler to do that than save 10% of what you can barely live on anyways, right?
And this is what I feel like you're really making a case for on this particular model or this particular orientation of network marketing, is that it's not all or nothing. It's not like either I'm full-time and this is my career, or I don't do it at all. There's degrees that you can choose for your life, and some people maybe choose this to do it, like you said, maybe 3-5 hours a week, create a little bit of a residual income, and it's great augmentation to their life. And some people maybe get in and decide, hey, this is kind of fun and it's working. I think I'm going to take a deeper dive into it. It's all self-governed.
Yeah. You know, one of those things, like people have a false perception. Hey, get in, spend your money, you know, go stand in the corner by that tree, we'll water you, and you start growing dollar bills. That's not the case.
Right.
One, it's hard work. And it's not the work that's hard, it's the mindset to do the work that's hard.
Right.
You got to train your mind because we're programmed to trade time for money.
Right.
You know, the greatest thing I've learned about network marketing is you can do whatever you want whenever you want, right? You're your own boss.
Right.
But the worst thing about network marketing is you can do whatever you want whenever you want.
It's unstructured.
Yeah. It's that structure, it's that self-discipline, right? And, you know, about a year ago or a little over, you know, the 3 to 5 hours a week is crucial. And a lot of people are like, well, how can you do it 3 to 5 hours a week if you're driving from one meeting to the next meeting to the next meeting? And I would agree with that would be difficult. But a year ago, and in the 21st century, a lot of network marketing companies, because of the internet and social media, are starting to do this online. So, you know, we've created a way where we teach people how to be, we kind of coined the phrase mobilepreneur. You know,
mobilepreneur, I like that.
Hashtag mobilepreneur. Right. So we teach people how to make money from their smartphone from anywhere around the world. And let me give you an example of what that might look like. Let's take a 9 to 5 employee. They get a lunch break, right?
Right.
They could reach out to a handful of people on their lunch break, invite them to see a short video online, add them to, you know, your private page where it's at online, and they could watch a video, and then you could follow up with them when you get home, right? Or, you know, after your kids go to bed, you could be on the couch sending messages and connecting people to a short video online. But a lot of kids have sporting events, right? Dance recitals, church, and a vacation time, family time. So it's hard to trade additional time to go make more money. And I think more and more people would adapt to the network marketing industry if they had a system to where they could do it truly from anywhere around the world and turn their smartphone into a profit center versus just, you know, scrolling through social media and going down all these different rabbit holes and not making a profit with that, but taking that 3 to 5 hours a week that they actually do go on to social media and just kind of look around and waste time. We can turn that into productive time.
Well, you know, what occurs to me is that network marketing was social media before social media.
Yeah,
right? It's all about the network and, you know, the social interaction. But it's interesting context that you described, saying, hey, you know, this thing that you're holding in your hand is an expense. Why not turn it into an income generator just by utilizing it in the way that you almost do already?
Yeah.
And I think this is the other thing that occurs to me, you know, being a serial entrepreneur myself, starting, you know, numerous businesses over time. You know, when you say things like, because I pick up on this because I know what this takes, you say, you know, just refer somebody to watch a short video. When if you're starting your own business, like you said, maybe it's an average $65,000 investment. In my mind, it's probably even more, and a lot of work, a lot of effort. And if you're the person who's got to make the video, create all the systems, create the funnels, create the conversion strategies, you know, and that's just marketing. Never mind finance, never mind operations, administration, all the other stuff that every business requires. What I love about this is that, hey, I'm kind of in my own business, but that stuff's all done. And it's done on a high level that's been refined over time, you know, with a lot of resources put on it. So, hey, the video, I don't have to make the video. I just have to get somebody. My job is easy. You know, looking at what I have to go through in businesses that I create, boy, that makes my job easy to say, you know, that stuff's all made and it's tested, you know, it's optimized. I have a simple job, get you to watch the video.
Yeah. So a couple things I'll point out is, you know, the key part of network marketing is the system. That's why franchises are so successful, because they have a proven system. You just have to invest a lot of money, buy into their system, learn their system, and then just turn the key and go, right? And with network marketing, the low barrier of entry, number one, but the system that's in place, the coaching, the training, the mentorship, all you do have to do is plug and play. You know, in network marketing, there's 5 skill sets that you have to get good at over time. I don't care what company you're in, there's 5 skill sets across the board. You got to get good at inviting people to see the information. You got to get good at doing a presentation, and you got to get good at enrolling people, and then also signing or training those new people that you signed up, and then you got to get them to the big events. So become a good promoter. But most people won't get great at all of these, and so what we did with the online approach, which what we're talking about, is you just have to become great at inviting people to see the information. You don't have to be the presentation or the explanation, just be the invitation, because when you invite them to a video, The video does the presentation.
Right.
And I've learned in this business, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. You just got to get them in front of it.
Right.
And once they see it and they show some interest, get your expert on the phone with them. Let them build rapport, cast vision, get them started, and then trained. So everybody plays their position. You know, when you look at a sports team, you know, like football, you got the guy that snaps the ball. You're just the inviter.
Right.
Get it to the quarterback. Let him run the plays. Everybody gets the ring at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Just, you know,
great
be
analogy.
coachable
Yeah.
and play team, and we can all win at this thing.
DJ, this is really fascinating. I think you brought to life the whole idea of network marketing and what it could mean, and that it's literally something that's available to virtually everybody.
Yeah.
If they have a desire and a little bit of motivation to work in this arena.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for sharing all that.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I enjoyed the conversation.
I'll tell you, my big takeaway from this is that how people who don't fit the conventional system, they didn't get top of their class in high school, they didn't go to Ivy League colleges, etc., can still find a path to great effectiveness, great wealth, and a prosperous life. That's what I took away, amongst many other things, from this interview.